What's up? It's ADR back with ADR's Premier League review. Hope you guys are having a great day. I do want to say thank you to everybody who's liked, shared, subscribed, commented. I don't think anybody shared a video, but still, we're going to like you anyway. So what we're going to do today is we are going to talk about transfers. I necessarily don't always go into transfers because if I was being honest, I could go into transfers each and every day, each and every hour of the day based off different rumors that come out, but I don't like doing that. I think that it's actually won on the pitch. I don't really care who wins the transfer window, although being an Arsenal fan is probably one of the reasons why, because honestly, we suck at doing business on the transfer window front. It just takes so long. We heard about Moreno freaking 6 weeks ago, and he's just now being announced. It's just, I don't get it. I honestly don't. Chelsea have signed 15 players by the time we've signed one. But what I do want to get into is, since it's the last week of the transfer window, I just want to get into some of the bigger rumors that we've heard, see what your guys' opinions are, leave some comments down below. One of the bigger ones that's happening is Raheem Sterling from Chelsea to Manchester United, and then Jadon Sancho from Manchester United to Chelsea. Chelsea and Manchester United fans, is this something you guys would care about? Is this a swap that you guys care about? I did hear about some fans saying that Raheem Sterling's finished and Jadon Sancho doesn't belong in the Prem. I disagree with both of those statements. I think that Jadon Sancho just needs a team that he can thrive in. I think that he's too far gone with Manchester United's project. And I think that Raheem Sterling, I understand why a little bit more why Chelsea is willing to let him go. I do think that the slander and the recency bias that's just completely gone over the cloud of Raheem Sterling is a bit excessive. I mean, people aren't acting like he hasn't performed amazingly for the Euros for England. And also had an amazing career at both Liverpool and Manchester City. I think that we just kind of brush aside Raheem Sterling, and I honestly think that he's one of the better wingers that we've seen within the last 5 to 10 years in the Premier League. But, hey, look, people will have their own opinions. Leave your opinion down below. But I do think that swap deal is a bit ridiculous, if I'm being honest with you. But it may benefit people. I think that Chelsea have 15,611 wingers already. I don't think they need any more, right? But again, that's not me doing this transfer business, right? They could see him as an asset where he has one good year and they shove him off. I do just not think that Chelsea have enough room for another winger. So that's something that I just disagree with. But again, this is some juicy news that's coming out again. Another thing that's happening is Arsenal and Chelsea apparently are fighting between Ivan Toney and Victor Osimhen, right? I guess the Saudi deals for both those players are kind of at halt now, because if Chelsea go for Ivan Toney, then Arsenal could go for Osimhen and vice versa, right? You Arsenal fans, let me know down below who you would rather have, Ivan Toney or Victor Osimhen. One's 28 turning 29, the other one's 25 turning 26, right? So you could have a little bit of more leeway, I guess, on Osimhen. But one is then Prem proven, who scored 20 plus goals in the Premier League and has already understood the nature of the Premier League, what beast it is. But then you also have one that has a little bit more creativity, a little bit more flair, a little bit more speed, but he hasn't been brought into the Premier League, right? But usually what I will say is people that struggle in the Premier League tend to not have the physical attributes which Osimhen tends to have. Please help me in the comments down below if I'm pronouncing it right. Is it Osimhen or Osimhen? I just want to make sure I'm pronouncing that correctly. But they both have their attributes in their own right. As you guys know, I am an Arsenal fan. Me personally, I would rather have Victor Osimhen. I don't think that he was worth that 100 to 120 million euros that Napoli was asking for, but it looks like Napoli has to get rid of him anyway, because Chelsea has now sold Lukaku to Napoli, and Lukaku is on higher wages. He's already proven in the Italian league, done well. Napoli seem like they want to push forward with him. It's just funny how if you wait and you're patient throughout the transfer window, how prices drop. At the beginning of the transfer window, Brentford were asked for 80 million for Ivan Toney, and then for Osimhen, they were asking for 120 million euros. Now we're looking at 55, 60, between 50 and 60 million pounds for both of them / euros. So it really is amazing how if you wait, things can come to fruition in that sense, right? So those are some different things that I've been hearing about. Another thing I wanted to touch on was Eddie Nketiah, hopefully finally leaving Arsenal. No disrespect to the lad. I'm so glad that he was able to make his millions and do what he needs to do, but now it's time for him to do that somewhere else, brother. You are not good enough for Arsenal. I'm not trying to be harsh, not trying to be rude, but it's just facts. We have seen, I believe he's played over 60 games and he has like 16 goals or 19 goals in those games. It's just not good enough, man. People will say, oh, but they're not all stars. Don't care. Don't care at all. You can clearly see with his touch, his movement, sometimes even his finishing, which is what people were saying that is his strong suit, his best attribute. It's just lacking, right? So look, man, I do appreciate you being here, at Arsenal for the time that you were. I guess I appreciate it. But, you were on the team, you filled a roster spot, man, and for about 2.5 games, you filled in for Jesus whenever he was injured about 2 seasons ago, and I do appreciate you for that. But, hopefully this Crystal Palace deal does not fall through, because for some reason, Fabrizio Romano has been absolutely butchering this transfer window. I've been hearing people say, what the skibbity and everything, man. This is insane. This man it's been here we go to not so fast, right? That should be his new motto, right? It's actually insane. Ornstein's been absolutely destroying him through this transfer window. But this is why I don't get involved in transfers. These dudes do stuff for clicks. They're just trying to get people on the hype train. Then all of a sudden, oh, the deal fell through. I had no idea. Well, don't tweet it then. Don't tweet, here we go with fire signs saying I'm a millionaire if it's not going to happen. So you get people like me triggered, because I've been wanting this brother out for 2 years and he's still here kicking ball, making $5.2 million a year. Now that's a bit much. It's a bit steep, right? You can get pissed off at the higher ups because they're the ones who gave this man $100,000 a week, 100,000 pounds a week. Excuse me. That's, I believe it's more like $125,000. So if he was in America, he'd be living extra good. But what I'm saying is, it's a little bit ridiculous we had him on those wages to begin with. That's what's made this process so hard. But thankfully, I was upset when he turned down the Nottingham Forest bid. But as a player, I understand they could be in a relegation battle. You don't want to have to go through this whole process again. Crystal Palace is still in London. He gets to stay there. Probably doesn't have to move far at all if he is going to. And, they're not going to most likely be in a relegation battle, although they haven't started the best. But hopefully he can help them with some of the things that they're doing. Edouard hasn't been kicking ball for them at all. And, they have Nketiah. He's bigger and stronger. They bring in Eddie Nketiah to give them a little bit more of a poacher's attitude. So hopefully he can help them out. I do wish him the best of luck. I'm just saying, from an Arsenal perspective, it's just not something that I want to see. Big shout out to ML Smith Rowe as well at Fulham. He's been doing a fantastic job. I think that there was a place for him at Arsenal, but it is what it is. It didn't work, right? For whatever reason, it didn't work, but it is what it is. Fabio Vieira, brother, peace. Don't care about that. I'm going to be honest with you. That was I feel like that was a tax write-off. Somebody got paid big for that transfer. Somebody did somebody a favor, or somebody got paid under the table for that one. I'll tell you that, because that was an absolute disaster. This man scored 1 goal at Brentford, and then you never saw from him. He'd do some switches and this and that from time to time. But other than that, we heard the new Bernardo Silva. He was the new Bernardo Nilva. He was not there. He was not it, all right? So sayonara to you, brother. Good luck. I think we have maybe Kiwior and Ramsdale that are going to be gone from that standpoint as well. And then, we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. But unlucky, I don't have any transfer news from Tottenham or City. City's been very, very quiet. Maybe those 115 charges are kind of weighing on them. I don't know. You guys let me know down in the comments what you think about City's charges. Will they be charged? Will they not be charged? But that whole conversation is a story for another video, which we may do. So subscribe this video, and we will see you on the next one. Peace.